and welcome to Herp A Derp, a podcast about breaking the stigma on herpes and empowering the community. I'm your host, Erin Devost. As always, you can review my episodes on YouTube, Anchor, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find the link to the channel on the podcast's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter page at Herp A Derp Podcast. Thanks! Hey Herp A Derpers! Wanted to share a few special happenings that are coming up in October for Herp A Derp before I dive into this episode. So October, as we all know, is a pretty big month because it's momentous for Herp A Derp. And myself on so many different levels. And for those who are not familiar, it is my Herp Anniversary, which is the month I was diagnosed, and is Herpes Awareness Day on October 13th. So really excited to see, what is to come of all these days. I will be sharing, my reflection on my Herp Anniversary, but also, talking about Herpes Awareness Day and how that has really changed an impact, and seeing how far we have really come from building such awareness and finding all these things by not only my self-education on herpes, but also what HANDS has done to create such awareness, and those activists who are part of this amazing effort to, dismantle the stigma. And it's just such a powerful month, and to really think about, telling your story, and to really thinking of how it can really change others. I've been so overwhelmed with the different types of Herp A Derp moments that have come up in these past few weeks about those who are sharing their story with me, but also how grateful they are by listening to Herp A Derp, and how that there's this platform to make everyone believe, but also be positive about themselves again, which is just, I thank you so much for all your support, and really cannot thank you enough for everything and for listening, most importantly. I know it can be hard being able to, follow Herp A Derp, on all the social media channels, but also understanding that you are listening at your own time. And when you need this advice, please come to Herp A Derp. And that's what, it's all about, herpes awareness, and creating that we can tell our stories, but also to not be afraid, but also to reach out to those who can help us in the community. So I want to thank you as being someone who's a resource, being someone who's a mentor, being someone that you can really talk to. So it really warms my heart, and you guys are all very special to me as fans, advocates, allies, all of the above. So love you all. Thank you. And, to kind of segue into what this episode is about, is I named it Stress at Ease. And, the reason why I kind of gulped with that is because, stress does come up often around this time of year, and it's something that I want to highlight. With September, we could be, ending summer, and it's that transition into fall, but also how stressful it can be, coming up. Some of us, will be going, back to school, or, you just moved from, coming from a summer job to, your, fall and winter job, to kind of the life happenings that happen around this time of year. It's a very encouraging time, not just kind of from a universal space, but it's also a time that we are really in the neck and thick of it. And I just always like to say, to keep moving forward, but sometimes we have to pause and let ourselves feel certain stresses. And as uncomfortable as that is, that ultimately sometimes leads to that outbreak, which is really hard to overcome, especially when you're stressed and your body is stressed. And so I really want to highlight this as a awareness piece this month, to really take care of yourself, self-care in September. And it feels like so much has been changing, not just the seasons, but levels of happiness and stress, as I had mentioned, that no matter what stress that comes unexpectedly through work and life, we can always find ways to prepare remedies for ourselves to help calm down for enduring those types of outbreaks. And, September stresses are a real thing. And that, life and work, it can weigh in as much as we can find ways out. And so when it comes to managing stress in healthy ways, may help reduce how often you have a genital or a cold sore outbreak. And so what I mean by ongoing stress is that, it's lasting more than a week, and that it seems to trigger outbreaks more than any other lifestyle factor. And so I definitely experienced this when I had my outbreak, how it just kind of like lingered and like all the stress was there, and really had to take care of myself in that week. And I really want to tell you all this too, that we need to really take care of ourselves and really see where we are and meet ourselves where we're at, to not be overwhelmed. I know I'm definitely going through kind of some personal things right now, and I just really think this is a really good reminder to not get worked up and to just like take deep breaths and come what may, but at the same time, like, let's think positively and let's also feel how we are feeling. So I can't get over that enough. And so here I just wanted to highlight a few helpful ways to kind of manage stress as like a whole. And so the first is, you need to get enough sleep. And so what I mean by that is just you need to feel more rested you are, and the more rested you are, the better you will be at being able to handle stress. And most people, of course, on average, need like between like 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night to function normally the next day. And some need more, some need less, a give or take, and depending on schedules, of course. But know how long you sleep when you don't set an alarm too. So there's always that difference of like, waking up on the weekend versus the weekday. Like, we all know that we get up at different times, but it's important to just really factor in that we need to sleep, really find those like ways to calm down and for the body to calm down. And ultimately, like, sleep is one of the best stress relievers, in my opinion. And to kind of go along with that, with as long as a healthy sleep schedule, having like a healthy, balanced diet, like making sure that your diet includes all the proper nutritions like for your body needs to keep strong and going, but also like avoid like inflammatory foods as well. And like you want to eat plenty of fruits and veggies that come into that, but also kind of limiting the amount of like sugary and fatty foods that you consume when you're stressed too. I know I'm such a stress eater. Like, my go-to is chocolate. Not gonna lie. Chocolate no matter what. If I have my period or if I'm stressed, like, I have chocolate at my desk. But being able to, have that, like, yes, like, stress eating is a real thing, and to really like kind of calm that down, but also make sure it's like actually like something that your body needs in that moment, and not just like a sugary stress pickup, if you will, like my chocolate at my desk. So just wanted to, share like, having that, get enough sleep, like balance your diet, but that also includes like exercise, and that physical activity can be a great stress reliever, and doing something that you enjoy, that doesn't seem overly stressful. Like, you can, go out, like, and go for a run, like you can do yoga, you can go to the gym, like whichever like you find is less stress relieving. Like, I wish I had my kayak. Like, that's one thing I know that I love to do when I'm stressed, and just kind of like being free and free flowing on the water is such a great stress reliever. And or having someone go with you in this exercise too, really can help you as well. Like, not being alone in this, and that you need someone to talk to, which is another thing I'd like to highlight in relieving stress is, don't be afraid to like reach out. Like, when you are stressed, like, sometimes the last thing you want to do is socialize and be around other people. And by being with people and having fun can help you like ultimately forget about your troubles, like for that, whether it be that moment in time or for, something that might be long term. And so, just being around people, being like around a happy and healthy, positive environment for you. And that's not like dwelling every minute that you are out and doing something. It's good to talk about your problems with someone and who cares about you and whom you can trust. Whether that's a friend, a family member, a spouse, therapist, partner, however you want to express your stress is how it will help you manage it. And so just, don't be afraid to reach out. And you can even reach out to Herp A Derp too. Like, I'm there for you to help with advice or figure out how to manage your stress and how I can, ultimately help. But also, like, there's so many great resources out there to whom to reach out to and other remedies as well. And one other thing that kind of goes with eating a balanced diet, getting enough sleep, reaching out and relaxing is relaxing, ironically enough. And, it takes those few moments, even those few minutes, to just like do something relaxing for yourself, whether it be meditating, whether it be like watching a show to kind of like transition like mood and stress, and like allowing kind of like that initial feedback of a body response to stress and making it more like into a positive manner. And it's even if you just like stare out a window, like just taking a look outside of your own perspective can really help relieve the stress of what is happening and what is you're going through and what's going on. And so I was really want to highlight like this month, and that, no, you are not alone in this. With all of that being said and stressed and done, how do you manage your upcoming outbreak? And do you feel it coming? And how do you relieve yourself stress-free from it? So please feel free to share with me either through Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or even Anchor through a voice message to let me know like how you do this. And of course, I'll be sharing some in my next episode to let you know that we are listening and that there's so many different ways to relieve stress. Importantly, take care of you. As always, feel free to share or comment on this podcast episode through YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email at herp-a-derp@gmail.com. Anchor listeners can now leave voicemail messages after listening to the podcast episode to get those deep reflections. It's super fun to do and share your thoughts.